Hey guys, it's Jonah here, and yeah, this review is going to be something slightly different. So I totally get if you don't want to watch this. That's absolutely fine. Um, but I knew this date was coming up because of what happened last year on this day, and I knew it was going to conflict with the Advent reviews, and that's that's not what this is. And I've still got my cold. So you're going to have to put up with that. But I think I'm going to get a different kind of audience totally for this rant stroke review stroke whatever you want to call it. But I don't care because it had to be done, and this is probably the one of the most personal uh, vlogs, reviews, rants, talks that I'm probably going to do. So it's probably going to be a bit longer than normal, but yeah, it'll become apparent what. Well, you've seen the title, and I haven't actually thought of what I'm going to call this yet, but it is because of this chap here, um, Jim, and he is still on my Facebook as a picture of me and him together, very much like this actually. Um, and if you look, 23rd of December 2001 is when hey covered up his face there. He'd like that. Is yeah, when James Dermody, left in mortal coil. My best bud. Yeah, I've said that many times, but it is 100% true. And there he is again, um, with Macy, his daughter. Um, yeah, which he always used to say to me, "Oh, there's a real cheesy old school picture." That's actually before I knew him. So we first met, I think, in 1988. I think 87, 88, something along those lines. But probably 88, and we weren't friends straight away. Probably have to wait till probably 90, something like that, 1990, and we're 2022, so way over 30 years. But yeah, this dude, and he looks quite old. Look at that, and then look at this young, unbelievably young face. Apart from I'm bald, he had lovely hair, but he took the grey a little bit before me. So yeah, fantastic. But yeah, I thought I would talk to you about my friend Jim and his favourite beer, which is more why I'm doing this as a review, which is why I've got these Life and Death from Vocation, 4-pack of. I'm probably going to drink all of these today and get absolutely wasted because that's what you do when you try and remember a guy that you grew up drinking with. 3 kilos of hops and 40 kilos of barley go into a bottle of that. Citron Mosaic. And Jim always used to try. Well, no, that's not true. He was a cider dude, right? For years. We used to drink Guinness together, like back in the day, but for years and years and years, the two drinks he liked more than anything else were rum and cider. And then, like maybe 3 or 4 years ago, he all of a sudden decided he would start drinking beers. And we did drink beers. When we first started drinking, we drank beers. over in a place, well, lots of different places, but his hangout was Weybridge, and as a group we used to hang out in Kingston, and then Surbiton. So there is the first beer and the second beer. I'm going to put these down on the floor because I'm going to have a fair few of these tonight. Not all on film, so don't worry. Don't worry, I'm not going to get more shitted. Well, I am, but we'll see. We also have a Vocation glass, which you've seen before. And just be aware that I have a Vocation beer mat that I am, I'm putting these on all due to my good buddy James Dermody, Jim for short. Derm, I used to call him Derm for years, and he used to get so fucked off because of his surname. And if you look at the date, 77 to 2001. So what does that make? 40, 45. Absolutely just ridiculous, man. Anyway, what I previously did was I had one of these for myself, and I poured another one for him. But today, I'm just going to have some myself. So there's the first one. Nice. And number two. And these are 6.5% beers, so I'm probably going to get wasted during this review, and just rant really. So, but this, the reason why, and I've said it many times before, Life and Death was his favourite craft beer, and I will put it out there again because I still haven't got an answer. But if anyone, or if Vocation themselves would like to give a recipe, I will definitely brew a tribute beer for him because it's the absolute least that I can do. He is partially responsible for getting me into home brewing in the first place, and the second time around as well, because I started brewing, I think it was 2000, no, sorry, 93, 94, something like that. There we go. There is near enough, damn it, a full pint of 6.5% beer, Vocation, for the nation, and I haven't decided what I'm going to be doing. Anyway, this is a fantastic beer. It really is a good beer, and it's Mosaic and Citra, is it? Yeah, Mosaic and Citra. So, guys, if you're joining me, or if you're, if you get the whole point of this, dude, I wish you were still here, man, because there's so many times this year when I wish to bounce ideas off your head, only for you to call me fucking idiot or laugh at me, or Jesus, this dude here, he's probably one of the few people that I would actually listen to. Oh, and I miss you, man. I really do. It's probably not a day that goes by when I don't miss you. And I sent a message to Nicole this morning, just saying, I'm thinking about you, and Macy as well. Not, I was going to say little Macy. She's not that little anymore. But yeah, Jesus Christ. Imagine growing up, as a young teenager, when your father died 2 days before Christmas. It's just fucking tragic. Absolutely tragic. Anyway, yeah, like I said, Jim and me used to drink together. Firstly, beers when we were sort of 16-ish, I guess. Yeah, 16, 17, illegally in the UK because you're supposed to be 18. Although you can drink, if you have food, you can drink at 16. But we used to drink, we used to go to, like I say, Kingston, a couple of different places, all of which have gone apart from the Druid's Head, which is a pub on the Kingston Market Square. And it used to be a standalone. I believe it used to be part of the Griffin pub, maybe like years ago, like hundreds of years ago. It was an old tavern on the market route down to Portsmouth on the Portsmouth Road, weirdly. But also we'd go to places like Richmond and drink on the Green, which is where cider came in. Yeah. Then we moved over to Kingston College together. We went to the college together, and he did really well. I didn't do so well. But on the back of going to KCFE, as it was, or Kingston College, he managed to get a place in Bristol University, whereas I went to went to Roehampton, which ironically is where Jim's younger brother Giles ended up going as well. But yeah, it became part of the University of Surrey. So yeah, we'd go in and drink and all that kind of stuff together. And yeah, drink rum a lot of the time. And Jim had a weird, well, I'd say it's weird now, mate. I mean, he had this weird vibe of drinking rum with milk, which he would do, and end up getting absolutely plastered. Because we'd basically buy a bottle of rum, like a 750 bottle of rum, and between us and maybe some other friends, there were a few other people. That will probably remain nameless, but you guys know who you are. We'd end up basically drinking a bottle of wine, a bottle of rum, um, as well as maybe beers and possibly a few other things, and various cups of tea. We're all into our cups of tea, and sometimes if we'd end up back at Jim's house, most of the time we'd end up back at mine because Jim, getting back to Jim's, you had to go, you had to know you were going there, because he lived quite a way out, whereas I lived walkable distance from the Kingston area, Kingston, Richmond, Surbiton, all of those kind of things. Hampton Court. Yeah, so we'd end up, as young men do, getting plastered, going back to people's houses, sleeping on sofas or in my spare room, and doing all those kind of things. And then when we got our cars, we used to drive up to Box Hill, and yeah, take some wood with us, take a little bag full of wood, and have a little campfire on the top of Box Hill, which I believe's illegal now. Probably was illegal back in those days, but we're talking 30 years ago, 25 at least. Having a fire on a national trust or whatever property, you'd probably get locked up. But back in those days, it wasn't a problem. Well, we never got caught, put it that way. But we were always, we'd never let things go too far. Oh. So yeah, the vocation, life and death. Jim told me the last time I actually ever saw him, that this was his favourite beer, and he wanted to try and find out the recipe. We spoke on the phone a few times after that. And don't forget, COVID has been around for the last couple of years, so I hadn't actually seen him in the flesh for probably 2 years before. But we spoke on the phone, we spoke over text, on Skype, etc. And we actually went to the beer festival, the Great British Beer Festival, in 2019, I think. Well, it would have been 19. And we had a fair few beers and got drunk and got jolly and talked about crap. And that was when Jim started homebrewing, and he got quite good at homebrewing. He was really a foodie. Jim was a real foodie guy, and he could cook very well. So the fact that he was good at homebrewing, yeah, I was not surprised at all. And he was quite late to come into craft beer, which is really weird because I've got a Weatherspoons craft. Well, it was a cask and whatever beer festival, and I still remember going there. And I remember one of the beer. I can't remember who it was from, which is so annoying. But it was a Citra beer, and it was a Citra Pale Ale, and this was 1993, maybe 90. No, it was 93, I think. And I've still got the beer glass from 30 years ago, which is crazy. And I remember tasting that beer and going, "Wow, this beer is really grassy. It's like sort of a pale ale, but it was a really grassy pale ale, not unlike a Citra Pale Ale that you could buy today." It was so similar, and this was 30 years ago. And this beer here has got some Citra in it. So, those pale ales and those days when you were young men and you drink beer and you talk lots of crap. And I don't think there were any of us had girlfriends at the time. Maybe we'd got together with girls if we were really, really lucky. And ironically, there is a girl that I speak to now who went to the same school as us, and yeah, he I think he went out with her on a date, and he kind of got into some tryst, shall we say, um, young love, and it wasn't even love really. I don't think it was. Got together, had a snog, fumble behind the bike sheds, whatever. It was not true love, I don't think. But I'm still in contact with that lady, so you know, and you know who you are as well. If you're watching it, you probably won't ever be watching this, but you know who you are. And it was funny because I was in another room at the same party with another girl who also used to go to school with us, having a tryst. Let's call it a tryst. Um, who I believe lives in Canada now. But you know, those type of things, just they make us who we are. You know. Oh, and things, you know, go by. Like I say, Jim went to Bristol. I went to a university in London. Um, in a massive irony, uh, he he didn't do very well at university, um, and he only got a third class honours, and I got a second class honours degree. And then I went on and got a master's. But holy fuck, Jim was one of the cleverest people I knew. He was very much a Renaissance man. He could really get into anything. He was that guy. Oh, pardon me. He was that guy that you met and you could talk to so easily because he knew a little bit. He wasn't an expert, but he knew a little bit about anything, any topic you could talk about. Um, but he had a scorbic side. If he didn't like you, if he didn't want to talk to you for whatever reason, he could really fucking destroy you, man. And he did it to me a few times. Like made me literally cry when I was drunk, of course. I even threw a beer glass at his face once. Luckily, it didn't connect, but it exploded against the wall. Um, and then later on, he found me in tears underneath a tree, and he said he loved me. Hey, man, that's how we're a bunch of old hippies at the end of the day. Hey, man, I love you. You know, don't be pissed off. You know, and that's the thing I miss the most. We were like brothers. I never had a brother, and he had a brother, and our other friends had brothers. But it's really weird to say that someone for a long fucking time, and you could be an absolute asshole, and they'd still turn around and say, I love you, man. I miss him a lot. It's just shit, man. Like sometimes, and some people that you think, why the fuck am I still here in this world when these people are gone? And it makes no fucking sense because to me, what potential have I got really? You know, compared to someone like him who was, I mean, even at school, he was just really, really intelligent. And out of all of us, he was the one guy that was, you know, he could speak to kings, but not lose the common touch. If I remember my Rudyard Kipling poetry. He really was like that. He could talk to the highest person in the land or the most common person living on the street, treat them the same, make them feel in their soul the same, make them feel valued, make them feel interested. People like that are very, very few and far between. And it just makes you think, like, our time on this earth is not long. If you live the longest out of everyone, 100 years, maybe. I'm not going to last that long. But when people that you hold in the highest regard are gone before their time, it just makes you think, what's the point, man? What is the point? This mortal coil. And the one thing that I hold in my heart is that I hope Jim is up there somewhere, looking down and laughing and going, "You twat, why? Come up and, you know, I'll keep I'll keep your seat at the bar, you know. I'll keep a place for you." And I really would love to believe that I'll see him again one day. But it won't be until the day I die. And I might be an old man by then. I'll be older than he will. But there'll never be, oh, fucking hell. There'll never be a day that I won't remember when we were young men battling with ideas, battling with things that everyone does. It's not a new thing. This is what everyone goes through. And I'm older now, a lot older than we were then. But those times were special. And the one thing that changes, I used to think I stayed the same and it was the world that changed. But what I now believe is the world stays the same and it's you that changes as you get older. So, Jesus Christ, we're almost at 30 minutes in. So I knew this was going to be long, but what I would say to everyone is have a great Christmas. Tell the people that you love them, because you don't know if this is going to be your last Christmas. So why not live every day, not just Christmas, but every single fucking day of your life as though it was your last day, because you might not ever get a chance to say to people that you love them. Guys, it's been Uncle Jonah. Sorry for being a fucking Sorry for being an old fucking drunken prat, but this was a special, extra special beer review for my main man, James Derm, Jim Derm. We'll be back for more beer reviews, but I will never forget this dude. Cheers and beers, guys.